welcome to Dota 2 update for the week of September 12th, 2011. Our top news for this week, it looks like a ton of Dota 2 screenshots have been leaked. It seems like a lot of the spell animations have gotten a big makeover. We have a shot of Roshan, some updated hero models, and also the Dota 2 shop user interface. And our second story of the week, it's all about the beta. When is it coming out? What are my chances of getting in? Those are the two biggest questions, I think. And especially this week, a lot of things have been coming out pointing to the possible answers to these questions. So we're going to go over some of those things and see if we can't piece together some information. Unfortunately, like every single week after the International, there hasn't been a big news piece. It's more of these kind of speculations and piecing together the news rather than reporting the news. So that's the way it's going right now, it seems. That is until the invites for the beta come out, of course. Alright, so let's jump into our first story. Screenshots galore. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how many screenshots have been released, I suppose, from a website called Dota2feedback.com. It seems like a lot of these models got updated, and I'm going to do a slideshow through so you guys can see all of them if you haven't yet. Some of the things that we noticed right off the bat, Lion's Finger is just looking amazing, so is Zeus's ultimate, and we finally get to see some shots of Axe, who we didn't see in the International, and we get to see some of his skills as well. One thing I want to point out that might be missed if you just glance at these photos is that on the minimap, if you look at the hero icons, remember in the International, especially on the Sentinel side, I remember seeing the just tiny little colored dots on the Sentinel side that don't look any bigger or different from creeps, except that they're maybe a different color. But now if you look at it, it's much bigger. There's a white border around the hero icon in the minimap, and it's a lot easier to tell where your hero is. And there are just a ton of pictures. I especially like this one of Morphling. His new model looks amazing. He's kind of got that glassy shine with a little bit of translucent. He's probably my favorite hero model right now. And also Earthshaker, his ulti looks much tougher now. I remember in the International when he ultied, it was just like, what the heck. But now it's like, you can tell that this is a game-changing ultimate. And besides that, there's not too much else to say. You guys can take a look at the photos and enjoy them, but there just isn't too much to talk about. But there's a lot to talk about for our second story. It's all about the beta, more beta speculation, and a lot of little tidbits that might be pointing us to the answer. When is the beta coming out, and what are my chances of getting in? So let's begin. So the first thing we have is that Gabe Newell said after the International that the beta will come out 3 weeks after the International, and as of today it has been 3 weeks. So hopefully this is not a Valve time thing where everything is completely delayed. However, the problem arises in that there are two different sources who are both apparently in the beta who have said that it seems like the beta is going to be pushed back 4 more weeks. Instead of just 3 weeks, it's going to be 6 or 7 weeks. The first source comes from a Brazilian team, CNB, a Brazilian Dota team, and they say that, oh, it's more likely that it's going to be 6 or 7 weeks after the International instead of 3 weeks. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as that, because the interviewer then goes on to Reddit and makes a comment that says, oh, there might have been some misunderstanding or something lost in the translation or something like that, and basically just leaves everybody super confused. But that isn't the only evidence pointing to the beta delay. A person posting as Sayuri, who is the girlfriend of one of the top North American Dota players, Merlini, who we probably know is in the beta, she says that the beta is likely to be delayed to 6 or 7 weeks after the International, the same thing that this Brazilian team has said. This is where I got worried, because it's two completely different sources saying pretty much the same thing, and they're both apparently in the beta. However, then a lot of people go on to try to disprove this poster by pointing out the fact that she joins the site 20 minutes before making her first post, which is the post saying, oh, the beta may be delayed, and talking about who has gotten into the beta and all that stuff. So a lot of people saying, oh, this is just someone impersonating this person. But it's not as easy as that, because the plot thickens again, because somebody that we know that is in the beta, his name is or at least he goes by 5-S. He has vouched for the validity of this person, saying, oh, she is indeed who she says to be. And in the end, just confuses everybody. It makes everybody more pissed off that nobody can give us a straight answer for when the beta is going to start. So the general consensus, I suppose, right now is it's either going to come any day now or it's going to come in 4 freaking weeks. Also, let's quickly touch on the subject of what are your chances of getting into the beta. So everybody has been saying right now the beta is not optimized for lower end PCs. What that means is that the beta invites are more likely to go out to people who have higher end computers who Valve knows will be able to play the beta. That's one thing. Also, we have heard that 100,000 people will eventually get into the Dota 2 beta, and that there are about 500,000 people who have signed up for the beta. So it seems like you have a 20% chance of eventually getting into the Dota 2 beta. Whether or not they're going to send out 100,000 all at once, which I think is very unlikely, or the more likely scenario is that they're going to slowly roll it out to a total of 100,000 people. And I just want to say good luck, because I'm going to be right there with you guys, refreshing my email and praying that I get Dota 2 beta. And before we close things out this week, I just want to throw out some last bit of random information that didn't really fit anywhere else in this update. So first of all, we do know from somebody that the Dota 2 beta is 2.53 gigabytes as of now. Just random information. And also, I think right now one of the best places to get something out of a Dota 2 beta tester is on Reddit, because some guy who has proven himself to be in the Dota 2 beta is, at least for now, answering some of the people's questions about Dota 2 beta. Reddit.com/r/Dota2. Unfortunately, the answers aren't as juicy as I would have liked, but still, it's nice to have someone in there at least answering a couple questions that the community has. But apparently he's not answering any questions of how he got the invite, which is, funny enough, the question that everybody wants to know. And with that, that's it for Dota 2 update for the week of September 12th, 2011. And I can't get this feeling out, hoping that the beta invite announcement is going to come right after I upload this week's update, because huge news does seem to happen that way. I mean, I uploaded the update and boom, the tournament was announced. I upload the update and boom, the trailer was announced. I'm praying that this week I upload the update and then the beta is announced. And I guess while we pray that this week will be the week of Dota 2 beta, I'm gonna go refresh my email, and I'll see you guys next time.